This is called activated charcoal and clay soap. This soap has many benefits. Number one, it reduces the size of the pores on your face. Especially in women, we are very careful of how we look. At times around this area, you will see wide pores. Those pores are wide because there is sebum in there. There is oil that has been trapped in there, and it ends up expanding the pore. This is very good. It reduces the size of the pore, and it literally detoxifies the skin. Many of us, we are very good at detoxifying our insides, but nobody really cares about the skin. Remember, the skin is a porous organ. It does suck in toxins. And especially for the women who like using lightening creams or those who bleach their skins, putting those kind of chemicals on your face, number one, or on your skin, number one, is very dangerous, because in the long run, by the time your ears have really gone, that is when you'll start seeing the damage. So this soap does detoxify the skin. It rids it of all the toxins that have embedded themselves in the skin. It detoxifies and deep cleanses the skin. Charcoal has been known to be very good for the skin. And the clay in combination with the charcoal really does wonders to the skin. And it also firms the skin. If you're beginning to have some funny lines, maybe laughter lines, it does help with that.
She talks like a person who has mastered her art. How did she get here? Any formal training or teaching?
I started this making soaps because of the trouble that I was going through. That is how these soaps were born. Now it has become a hobby, and a hobby that gives me money. And on the process of making the soaps, I did a lot of research here and there, although it's different when you do the research and you come to the actual thing. It doesn't come out the way from what you read. It's much more complicated than that. But as you go on with it, you get the hang of it. Once you learn how to use the lye, the sodium hydroxide wine, you learn how to use it and in what measures, the protective bit of it, because you cannot just approach lye just like that. It's a dangerous chemical. It's not a chemical you play around with, and there's a way to handle it. Like, for example, you can only put it into water and not the other way around. You cannot put the water into the lye. It will explode. You put the lye into the water, and once you have put it in the water, it heats to very high degrees. That's why you need protective clothing. You need the goggles. I have mine. You need the gloves to protect you, because if it splashes on you, it burns the skin. That thing can even make you go blind. So you cannot just handle it roughly. I remember the first time I tried making the soap, the very first time, there are some instructions I didn't get clearly. It escaped my mind that I'm not supposed to use a steel container. You can only use aluminium or hard plastic, but here I am using a steel container, and the results were just something else. The thing just boiled out of control. The floor was full of foam. My sufuria, my steel sufuria started melting, literally. Then I had to go back to the drawing board. I did not give up. That is not me. I don't give up. I did the research. That's when I realized, oh, I'm not supposed to use this kind of a container. So now I know what I can use and what I cannot use. I know what I can mix with what and what I cannot mix with what. Because again, if you don't know, you will mix your ingredients properly, but when now you start stirring it to reach a trace, it separates. You're left with your water separated, the oils on their own, and that is a disaster, because now it cannot work. You just throw it out. So with time, I have learned how to make the hot process soap, and I've also learned how to make the cold process soaps. I like the cold process. It's a much tedious and longer process because they take very long to be ready, but the bar becomes much harder and it lasts a longer time. I have not had any school training. Nobody has trained me. It's just me and God. I would say nobody taught me anything. As I said, I just did my research. I'm the kind of person, when I research something, I take in things very quickly, and I'm able to actualize whatever I have read without much trouble, apart from that time when I missed a very important point. But I really did not see the need of having anyone to train me. For me, if I tried for myself 5 times and I'm not able to, then I would look for help. And this was just one time. The second time I was going.
Where does she get her supplies?
For my supplies, like the glitters, all these different colors of glitters, different textures, I buy them from Nairobi. That is where I actually get most of my supplies from. Unless it's something that I cannot find in the country, then I import, because for me the end product is very, very important. For things like this kind of decorating stuff, it's all over, and you really don't need to be limited to anything. I even have stones. I have stones somewhere there. I collect stuff. Anything really can, if you have that imaginative thing, you can work with literally anything. So you don't have to be limited to whatever. I even take my own earrings. If they look too good, I think they would look better on a bottle or somewhere else. So there's lots of my earrings here.
What qualities does she consider important to succeed in what she does?
To succeed in creativity business, number 1, you must know your lane. Creativity comes in many forms. Some are very good in dressmaking. They come up with very nice designs. Some are very good weavers. They are different things. I would say for you to succeed in a business like this, number 1, you must have a passion for it. You must have a natural know-how. And you must have an inner power that pushes you to do this. And how to know that you're on the right lane of your creativity is if, number 1, it works for you. You do not struggle with ideas. If you have to copy somebody else to come up with something new, then you are not a creator. You are not able to create your own concepts. To succeed in this kind of a business, you must be able to create your own concepts. If it's recipes for soaps, you must be able to create your own without having to copy anyone. If it's things like the bottles or whatever you want to create, have your own original idea. That is the only thing that will work for you. Otherwise, the people who are not naturally creative will always be very, very many steps ahead of you, while you just sit back waiting to see what probably they have done so that you copy. Know what God has put in you. Everybody has a talent. Everybody has a talent. The talents are gifts of God, gifts of the Father. We see people who, like, for example, they run. Like the people who work on the trucks, they run and they earn millions. If I decided that I also want to become a runner, I will fail miserably. Because number 1, I'm not fast. Number 2, I don't have a passion for it. So it will not work for me. It works for that person who has that gift. And each of us has a gift. So it's up to you, it's up to us to really try and find out that gift that God has put in you, because your breakthrough is in that gift. Your financial breakthrough is in that gift. And that gift, once you realize it, you just flow so comfortably. You will not struggle. So know your talent, stick on your lane and run with it.
It is a digital era. Everything, arts, crafts, marketing, media have gone digital. What is the place of the internet in what she does?
When it comes to the internet and my business, I mostly use it for marketing. The social media is a major platform for me, mainly Facebook. I have pages that I've created there. Like now I'm working on a brand. I have somebody working on a brand for me. It also helps me because there's a website that is being constructed right now. So social media is actually, it has brought business running much closer to the people, other than some time back when we just use books or word of mouth. The internet has been a major tool in helping the exposure of my business, and also in doing researches of a few things here and there.
What does the future look like for Craft Arena and Skin Nurse?
Of course, I have huge plans for the future of my business. I would love to see it grow. I would love to see myself in that place where I'm able to do mass production, because right now if I get bulk orders, it takes me a lot of time to be able to complete one order. Why? Because I have to work with my hands, and you see, hands cannot be compared to machinery. So with time, I would like to see my company grow to levels of even international. As much as I have some soaps that have gone out all the way to South Africa, I would like to see Skin Nurse all over the place. Number one, my main aim would to see them helping people, trying to help people go away from the harsh products on their skin, because with time really this poses a very, very big problem. I would love to see my soaps going to every corner, in supermarkets, in beauty shops, in every home. And I would also like to reach a point where I'm able to mentor people, you know, both in Craft Arena and also in making soaps. I would like to see people also empower themselves, especially women. You don't have to sit at home just because there's nobody to employ you in an office. Jobs are not just office jobs. Any job that pays you, so long as it's legal, is a job.
This is what she leaves us with.
Okay, let me just encourage somebody out there. You're there, you do not have a job, probably because you have been choosing. For me, I say a job is a job, so long as it pays you. And if you don't have a job and you're not an 8 to 5 person, because there are also people with that grace, but if you're not an 8 to 5 person, then there must be something in you that you're able to do. And again, you don't have to be employed. You can employ yourself. Some of these things you don't even need to spend a lot of money to take off. Like for the crafting, all you need is just to collect a few bottles here and there. And I'm not limiting you to bottles. You can come up with your own things. There are some who weave baskets. There are some who weave coasters or placemats for the tables. Look for what you can do. Do not limit yourself. There are many things you can do. Probably you can be a mechanic. Go and do it. Try on your skill. Probably you're very good at wiring, but probably that talent is still sitting in you and has not been realized. Start somewhere. That spark that you have in you, just try and fan it into a flame. If you have the slightest spark that probably you love making hair, start somewhere. If you like making people's nails, start somewhere. Before you know it, you'll already have a business of your own, and people will come to you. Why? Because that favor will be on you, because it's natural. It comes from inside. So don't sit there, whether you're a man or you're a woman, or you've just cleared college or school and you really don't have anything, or you're there lost, not knowing what to do. Work with your hands. Hands are gifted. The Bible says that he blesses the works of our hands. Our hands first before the works of our brains, if there's something like that. But it's what you touch to do with your hands. Make use of your hands. Make use of your brain. Think of what you can do. Come up with a concept that nobody else has. Be unique. Be original, because God has invested gifts in us. Find out your own, and it will open doors for you.
Join us next Sunday for another sizzling episode.